One of the hardest things about staying on a diet plan or a meal plan are those feelings of deprivation. These feelings of like, oh, I have to give up all this, that, and the other thing, all of my favorite foods. These kinds of feelings are not only detrimental to your mental health and your general well-being and your outlook on life, but they can also actually trigger ghrelin, a hormone in the body that makes you seek out more calories. So even just thinking about going on a diet, thinking about that deprivation can really shoot us in the foot. One of the ways that we can fight this is with an evening mocktail. So join me, won't you? I've got 3 fancy things here that are going into my mocktail tonight. First off, a beautiful piece of fragrant lemongrass from my mother's garden. Very nice. I've got a Diet A&W root beer and ta-da-ta, my secret ingredient. No, it's not a jar of pee. It is ginger-infused apple cider vinegar. All right. So, and oh, almost forgot, one of the most important components of your evening mocktail or your evening special beverage is a nice fancy glass. So especially for those of you who are used to having a nightcap, whether that is a glass of wine or beer or a scotch, whatever it is, if you're trying to cut out the alcohol, because let's face it, those calories add up fast. Alcohol has 7 calories per gram compared to 4 calories per gram for protein or carbohydrate and 9 calories per gram for fat. Drinking alcohol is almost as good for your diet as drinking butter. So to avoid this problem, we want to try a mocktail. Now, I like vinegar in my mocktails. You might not like vinegar so much, but I use it essentially to replace out the alcohol in the drinks. So a shot of vinegar. This gives it sort of a nice, warm, tangy feeling on the way down. You get it that nice warmth in the top of your diaphragm, like you often do with a alcoholic beverage. For the sweetener, and if you're going to do a sweetened beverage, I'm going to have this with my dinner. If you are going to have a sweetened beverage, even if it's non-caloric sweetener and you have that independent of calories, that non-caloric sweetener in your beverage can actually halt fat loss while it's in your system. So you want to have it with food. Why? Because the thing that halts the fat loss is your insulin response in the body. So we want to have it with food so that that insulin response actually doesn't just go to waste, preventing you from blocking fat. It helps you metabolize your food correctly. So I'm just going to pop this in, get a nice pour going, get a nice little foam on the top. Swirl it around, let that lemongrass get nice and fragrant in there with the apple cider vinegar and ginger and root beer. Cheers. All right, so that's a nice, tasty beverage. And you can do it without the sweetener, with seltzer water. You can put anything you want in your mocktail. Part of the importance is being able to send the signal to yourself and those around you that, hey, look, I am done working for today. This is me time. This is relaxation time. This is one of the really important benefits of an evening beverage or of an evening drink that I think a lot of people miss out on or forget about when they try to just eliminate it. So if you're used to having a glass of wine at night, don't eliminate, replace. Nature hates a vacuum. Go ahead and replace that habit with a new habit and make that habit something that is in line with your goals. And this way, you are still sending that signal to yourself and those around you. Because what happens when you have an alcoholic beverage? What are you saying to yourself and the world around you? You are saying, hey, don't ask me to work right now. Don't ask me to do any adulting. Don't ask me to drive. Don't ask me to do anything coordinated. I am chilling. I am relaxing for the evening. That is my purpose in life right now. Cheers. Here's to relaxing in the evening. So the whole idea with a mocktail is we're still creating that environment. We're still sending that signal. So I still would, even though... Could I put this in a regular glass? Sure. Do I have to put the lemongrass in it? Nah, I could skip that part, right? In fact, I could just have a diet soda, but is it going to feel as special? Is it going to feel as nice? Is it going to feel like I'm taking time for me as much? Probably not. So that is the importance of having a nice fancy beverage in the evening that is in line with your fitness and your nutritional goals. So if you're trying to cut back on the calories, cut back on the alcohol, do that, but don't cut back on the you time. Changing habits is really stressful. We don't want to put ourselves under additional stress, more stress, by saying, "Oh well, we can't take time for ourselves. It's we got to work out and we got to meal prep and bit bit bit." No, take extra time for yourself, especially when you are starting a new exercise program or a new workout program or a new diet program. Make sure that you are replacing food treats or beverage treats that are high in calories and incongruous with your goals. Replace those out with special time for you. What do you enjoy doing? What relaxes you, right? And if your answer is having a glass of wine, by all means, pour yourself a nice fancy beverage in that glass. For some people, it's the cup of coffee in the morning, the whole "don't talk to me till I've had my coffee" crowd, right? So if that's you, you still want to keep your coffee tradition in the morning. I know a lot of people don't like black coffee. So experiment with maybe putting just some cinnamon in your coffee. That can take the edge off it. Experiment with different types of coffee. You may find that, like for myself, I am a black coffee drinker, but I don't like Colombian coffee. I find it too acidic for me, right? So you may find that once you take the cream and the sugar out of it, that you might have to try different brews, different blends to find the one that works with you, or gradually decrease the amount of cream and sugar you put in it over time, really gradually, so you only just barely notice by the time it's out of there, right? So these are ways in which we can still make time for ourselves and get around that pesky ghrelin problem. That ghrelin hormone sounds like growl or gremlin, right? I love that. So growlin, gremlin, ghrelin is triggered when we feel like we are deprived. So we don't want to feel that visceral, deep hunger. That's the kind of hunger that you get with ghrelin, the kind that you really shouldn't have to willpower your way out of. This is the kind of hunger, this deep, gnawing hunger that triggers us in a very, very primal sort of a way, right? So we don't want to have to try to think our way out of this primal way of being. Just go ahead and find other ways to treat yourself, other ways to make time for yourself, and I guarantee you are going to have a much more pleasant experience with your exercise and nutrition and healthy lifestyle changes. And the more pleasant an experience it is, the less you suffer, the longer you will stick with it, and the more successful you will be, because this stuff doesn't happen overnight, right? So we have to build it up over time. Okay, I hope you found that useful. If you would like more information on nutrition and exercise and actual coaching and help with that, go ahead and join the Nerd Gym, www.thenerdgym.com. And if you enjoyed this video, click subscribe, like, etc., etc. below. If you have a question for me, if you would like me to answer a question on a future Nerd Gym Live, please do go ahead and ask me that question down in the comments. I do love a good question, or even a bad question. If I don't know the answer, I'll make it up, all right? So I will see you on the next one. I hope you have an awesome day, and I will look forward to seeing you again on Halloween. Oh, we got one more day before Halloween. I'm jumping